What is up, people? Half Slab Bacon back. And guys, today's supposed to be the day 1.14 is supposed to go live. So, we are in the heart of a village to discuss the Village and Pillage update, guys. So last video I discussed some concerns. And that's what I want to go over today. The way the mechanics are now, and the good and the bad, and why I don't think you should update your existing worlds, be it multiplayer or single player, without doing a backup and thoroughly testing them before you decide to keep the update. Reason being, guys, there is probably 1,000 open bugs in the bug tracker right now. So, we are in 1.14 pre-release 5. That is the last pre-release that went out before the Easter weekend. And that's why I wanted to talk about this, guys. Before the Easter weekend. Over the weekend, I thoroughly tested and I checked the bug tracker. Now, I looked at the kind of bugs we had and the amount of open bugs for 1.14 only. And like I said, almost 1,000 open bugs. Let's say a lot of those are duplicates, and to be honest, there's a sizable chunk that are probably just not bugs at all. They're people reporting based on false information or a misunderstanding of the game mechanic. But if we even take 10% as legitimate open bugs, that's like 100 open bugs in this version of Minecraft after they went on their Easter vacation weekend. And then they're going to release the full update today, the 23rd of April. What is the likelihood that all those bugs will get fixed and that the problems that I show you are all going to be fixed? So, we're in the village because this is the Village and Pillage. And that's the first thing I want to discuss is this is your reason for updating. Is it balanced? Well, no, guys, not really. So, let's go over why, and I've got a lot of experience with testing the raids, so we're gonna test the raids to find out, and I'm gonna go over what I think is your like best method of defending against the raids. So you're gonna want to get into a village at night. You're gonna want to run around. You're gonna place as many bells around the exterior of the village as possible. Now, you're going to need to trade for that to happen, right? So you're going to want to get in, and you're going to want to trade and get those bells and get them laid out. Obviously, light up the area as much as possible, and then whenever humanly possible, go around and block this stuff off. That's right, just like the old school days, go around and block stuff in. And keep in mind, there's areas like this where you would have to block that off as well. Now, we're not going to block off all the houses because I want to show you why this is a little unbalanced, in my opinion. And we're going to talk about some of the things that I see that are still problems in the game. And one of the big ones is with golems. So, golems should be spawning. Now, I've run this for a while. It spawned with one golem. No more have spawned in. Based on the number of villagers and the amount of chatting they've done, they should have spawned some more in. But that's kind of the problem. Like, you can see our first golem's dead. Yay. We haven't even had a raid yet. We're going to go and we're going to give ourselves, let's say 4 golems, okay? We'll go with 4 golems. So let's get one more guy up in here. And we're going to leave the doors open, but I would highly recommend placing the bells and at night blocking as many of these guys in as possible. That's still not a full defense, because we got the Vexes and the Vindicators that can come, right? That's a problem because the Vexes can hit, or Vindicators can hit through walls. So that's a very bad problem, right? So we're going to go 5, give ourselves a max amplifier. We're going to let them in. I've got strength going, but you can see a lot of these guys are not in their homes, despite it being night. So as soon as the raid starts, we're going to want to hit the bell. And that's why we want the bells around. They will hit the bells too. But we're not very balanced here. You can see these guys are running around. I've called for them to go in. They're going to go in. And we've got our raid here. So, do we have a guy down yet? Almost, right? By the time... Let's go kill him. So, I shouldn't really do this at all. I should let the golems take care of it. We'll help with the first raid. And you can see our golem hasn't even taken out one guy yet. We had to do the rest. Now, I've got super strength going on. So, obviously, that wouldn't have been that easy in survival. And we were already at the, losing villagers, right? We were already looking at losing a villager, possibly a golem. So, these guys, as you can see, are not in their things, despite us ringing the bell. We'll ring the bell again. They just kind of run around. It's not balanced very well. It's not set up. They're leaving doors open, so these guys can get in. I don't know how many doors are open, but they do like to leave the doors open. They still come out for some strange reason, and these guys are not supposed to be able to get in, but they actually do. We'll kill this one guy rather than letting a villager die. They actually can get in, so Mojang tested letting these guys get in the doors and then realized that was kind of foolish. It was just going to get everybody killed. And there's a bug where the Vexes and the Vindicators can still open doors. They shouldn't be able to, but they are able to. So you've got these idiots running around outside. You've got them leaving doors open. You just saw that, right? Oh, we've already lost a golem. Maybe we were trying to run around blocking these guys off inside, right? What's going on here? Okay, the door's still open. This guy's standing right by the door. I think he might have gone in to get the guy. We're probably going to lose another villager here. It looks like he got the big guy, so we're good there. We still got two guys, though. Where are they? You can see we've got, for some strange reason, a golem way off over there. That might have been a natural spawn. But these guys are just, they're not able to spawn in golems fast enough. They're still bugged. And you gotta remember, this is what they went home with the game in a state of before they decided, hey, when we get to work on Tuesday, which is Monday for them, we're gonna do full release, because we're close enough to a running version of the game. Oh, look. So we'll kill them. We'll let the next raid run through. So in my testing, I found that you needed an insane amount of golems. I was dropping like 20 and still losing 2 or 3 through every raid. And a player can't be there for all of it, right? You just can't cover the area fast enough, especially if these guys are running around. So you really are going to have to go and block these guys in when they go in a house, right? That's going to have to be a thing. Why these guys are outside, I'm not sure, but they are, right? So you maybe want to go and see, look, all the beds are empty. These idiots are outside. Let's ring our bell again. That's supposed to be our strength, right? Our defense. It's clearly not working. You know, look at this guy. He just went by a door. This is not balanced, guys. This is not what I consider working mechanics at all. We'll go ahead and we'll help. I think we've made our point. This is not what you want to see in survival. Your only real way of defending is getting in before a raid happens and getting in at night so you can block them all indoors and then spamming the area with a ton of golems to help you defend because the villages are a lot larger now. You're not going to be able to keep the entire area protected. How many villagers do we have left? I don't even know. But you can definitely see, I don't think this is work as intended. There's definitely a lot of bugs. There's a raid. Why aren't any of the villagers ringing bells? Are they all inside for a change, or are they just all dead? They may all be dead. But there's your problem right there. Even if they're in the houses and they remember to close the doors, if you can't get all these guys, well, those guys can just get at your last guy anyway. See? He's over here. I'm guessing there's villagers in here. See? Look. Hey, look at that. Yep. They're not supposed to be open doors, right? Yep, we're ready for full release, guys. This is good. Oh, I just saw another guy go in the door. You know, they're not supposed to be able to do that, but hey. Hi, buddy. What's going on? Are you cheating? Yeah, you're cheating. Cheater McCheaterson. So, if this is what you were looking forward to, guys, I'm afraid it's a little unbalanced. And where's our last guy? It's a little unbalanced, and it's a little bugged still. Yet they're releasing today. There's our last guy. That should be it. We should get our effect now. And those guys should want to come out and give us some stuff. No, they're all dead. We haven't gotten Hero of the Village. There's no fireworks going off. Yeah, we lost. We lost. I don't know what to tell you guys. I don't feel that's balanced at all. And I don't feel that it's ready for the prime time. If they catch all this behavior and get this fixed, we've still got a lot of other problems. Like, one of the open bugs is a massive memory leak if you harvest an oak tree. It literally causes a memory leak enough that it could crash and maybe corrupt your world. So that's an issue. There's also some permanent changes, some good, some bad, that I think we need to go have a look at in regards to iron farms, villager trading, and a few other things. So let's go check that out as well. All right, people, we are in my second test world because, yeah, some of the other snapshots permanently broke the other one. There was a ton of problems with chunk rendering, mob spawning, etc. They appear to be fixed. A lot of the major stuff was, but there are some major changes we need to take a look at, and I don't know how you're going to feel about all of them. Definitely a major issue for updating existing worlds. So just to show you, we are in pre-release 5, and I want to talk about a couple of things. Now, first of all, let's get this out of the way. This is testing chunk loading. So let's go ahead and load up the chunks. This marks our spawn chunk here. For the bulk of the 1.14 snapshots, chunk loading and spawn chunks were basically non-existent, completely broken. Only chunks around the player would load, which would mean any farms you had in your spawn chunks would be permanently broken if you were using spawn chunks to keep them active. This old design of using like hopper chunk loading, this is broken. This does not work. There is basically no way to load chunks outside of the force load command, which, of course, in a single-player world you can do, but on a server, your server op needs to be okay with that. Now, here's our new iron farm. You notice it's not doing anything. We're going to go over that. They did fix this, and that's why I've got this set up, so we at least have spawn chunks, but there is a problem with them. And that is the old design used to be a 13 by 13 area around your spawn chunk. Now you might notice lights off in the corners there. That is because entity processing now happens in a 19 by 19 area. So good news is, if you have stuff in your spawn areas, it'll still work. Hopefully, maybe. Not all of it, we'll get into that. But if you used to do things like put, say, a mob trap, a mob switch, which is basically a mob farm in lazy chunks that you fill up the mob cap with. If you used to have one of those in the lazy chunk area of your spawn chunks, that will now be inside your active entity processing chunks, so your mob switch will be broken. If you had farms, like, say, animal farms, outside of your spawn chunks, just on the edges, so they wouldn't take up the cap, they're now going to be inside your spawn chunks, taking up your mob cap. So, while not the worst thing in the world, it is going to cause a lot of servers and advanced players to have to rebuild their spawn area. Now, we're going to go in here. Looks like we picked up a bunch of snowballs for me testing. Yay! You can see I've got a chest here, and I had basically just a clock here. You can see it setting it off, and it's gonna run. And that was just a tick timer, so I could make sure that entity processing was working. I can confirm that on the other side of a portal, it's a 5x5 area to load the center chunk still. That's how that's gonna work. Yeah. So, at least that side of portal chunk loading is fixed and back to the way it was, which is good news. We have some, but you can't use the old method anymore of, like, expanding that area. It's gonna have to be done via force load command. Nothing else works. I've tried, Razeworks tried, Ilmango, lots of people have tried. It's permanently changed. So that is one of the changes in what I feel is Minecraft 2.0. The next one is iron farms. And this is a functional iron farm and probably your best farm. But Bacon, it's not producing any iron. I know! And that's because of the new mechanics. So villagers have to have beds and they have to work in order to stimulate golem spawning. So in a 20-minute cycle, you're going to lose 10 minutes of their sleeping, right? So a Minecraft day, half of it spent sleeping. And out of that other 10 minutes, there's only actually 2 windows where you're going to get golem spawning. One of them is at the beginning of the day, and one of them is at the end of the day right before you hit midnight. So they actually only spend about 5 minutes out of every 20 minutes spawning golems, which is permanently going to destroy things. At the moment it's bugged. You notice we just switched to day and nothing is spawning. That's because every time a world is saved and reloaded, so exited out of in single player or a server restart, it resets all the gossip that the villagers are doing that caused the golem spawning back to 0. So we've got 24 here in each with a bell in the center just to encourage them gossiping. Now, before we can get this started, we're going to have to let them work and then let them sleep, and then the farm will start back up. So we'll come back to that in a minute. While we're letting them do their thing, we're going to go talk about villager breeders and food farms. The good thing is villager breeders are still working. So over here, I've got a very simple clock feeding these guys. You saw the hearts. So the number of beds is going to equal how many villagers they're going to let in. And you can see underneath here, if we just go down here, I do have a bunch gathering up. This will hit entity cramming. So even a small stack of beds like that is enough to get an infinite villager breeder going, as long as they keep having food. But you're going to have to use a redstone-based system like this, which is good, because then you can shut it off, right? Just eliminate your clock. They're not getting fed, they'll stop breeding. That's a good thing. But getting another villager to feed them, well, that's going to work, but very slowly. This guy's getting fed by this guy because I filled his inventory. And if we break these, he will eventually replant. But you can see he's not doing it, right? In the old versions, these guys that would have been filled already. We can leave that. If we come back eventually, he'll do it. But it's going to take forever. They're very slow. Even more concerning is you can see all these crops are max age. Age 7. And he's not harvesting them. So while you can get a villager to feed and eventually slowly plant, see, he only did 2 of the 4. Normally they would have done the whole area, right? Like, if you did that, they'd be obsessed. They'd fill it up. He's going to ignore it and very slowly get to it. So you can get them to replant, but you can't get them to actually harvest. So you're going to have to find other methods for your farms now. The villager-based crop farms, they're going to be broken. It looks like they've worked enough. Let's see if we can at least trigger this. We'll let them go ahead and go to bed. They have to have workstations to work at, The reason I chose these is because the workstations are bugged. Most of them, if you put them side by side like that, if they have 2 of 4 sides, the villagers don't recognize them. Unless the villager is there when you place them. If you build it first, they won't even see them as a workstation. So the grindstone's the cheapest one to fix that. Really? Now you can see it's starting. So we're going to have, it's like not even, it's about 2 minutes here. Where they'll spawn in and they'll go, that guy's going to stand there till somebody knocks him off. These guys will die. You can see, whoa, massive lag spike. Barely got anything in this world, but we got a massive lag spike. And there's only 100 villagers here, so if you do one spawn, yeah, you're not going to be able to go much bigger than this. You're not going to even be able to go much bigger than this outside of spawn without it lagging the server whenever you see it active. Okay? Much over 100, it starts to lag the server because these guys are now sharing so much data. And you're gonna want to use mobs because water now also severely reduces their spawn rates. You can see they've stopped, and it's not because this guy's here. It's because of that time thing. They're now going to need to work and get ready to go to bed. They will not spawn more golems until they start running around and gossiping at the end of the day. So with 100, it's actually 96 here, I think. That's only producing about 350 an hour. So that's really going to be your cap now, 350 to 400 an hour. Let's talk about villager trading, because this is the last big problem we have. So I've got 3 farmers here. You have to trade with them forever. And you can see this guy's got trades here. Well, they lock out really quick. We'll show you how quick they lock out. Okay? Let's keep trading with him till he locks out. Done. Locked. Like the old system, right? But you can see he's not resetting. And that is because they only reset twice a day now from working. So you're going to have this here. And yeah, you're going to get, again, a total of maybe 5 minutes of trading out of every 20 minutes. So you're going to have lots of villagers to trade with to make it productive. Also, if you notice, he doesn't have all the trades. They have random lists. So I've got 3 here. And never mind getting the best trades, it takes multiple to even get all the trades. Like 2 out of 3 here don't have pumpkins. Right? 2 out of 3 here don't have carrots. Yeah. I think one's got a cake, but because there's a random roll on these guys, you're going to have much more of them to get all the trades. And because their trades change, you can't have, a select amount with the best trades because, as you can see, the price goes up the more you trade. So it's a much more in-depth system, but for advanced trading, it's not good because, as we noticed, 100 of them is enough to lag a game, right? This is a major problem. Because in some of them, Ilmango, whose video I will link down below, looked at all the trading and how the trade rules go. And some of them, it's as high as like 1 in 3,500 to get all the good trades is your roll. So you're going to have hundreds of villagers in your trading, guys. There's a lot of other bugs I noticed, but I figured we'd focus on the core mechanic changes and what this means for your existing worlds. It means much less iron. You're going to need a lot more iron golems to protect villagers because, in case you didn't know, those count as a village. Raiders can spawn up here. And they can even spawn inside there. The raids can spawn right inside the villages, not just outside of them. So fencing and doing stuff like this is not going to protect them. There is a chance if you came near your farm with bad omen, you could have the raid spawn in here and wipe out all your guys. There is a chance if you came near your villager trading hall and your villagers, yeah, again, all your guys, you could have a raid and they could all get killed. So, yeah, the solution is to have lots of golems, which means you need way more iron. Yet iron farms are now nerfed. This is it, guys. Like, This is as complicated as it gets, I'm afraid. And at 350 to 400 an hour, that's plenty for a single player world. But in multiplayer, that's now a big problem. And doing 2 or 3 of them and having them all in spawn's not a solution, because with the current way the villagers are, they're so laggy that 2 or 3 of them like that, say 300 in an area, or even multiple areas, all loaded at once, is going to bring your server to a crawl and make it unplayable. So at best, maybe you could have probably 3 of them, say 2 of them outside of your spawn chunks, 1 in spawn chunks to keep a trickle going, and then when, say 3 people are on, or 2 people are on the server all at once, or 1 person, go load the other 2 farms, and maybe bring that up to 1,000, but it severely limits you. Also, the size of trading areas now, if you want to have an advanced trading village, is going to be so large that just going to that's going to bring your servers to a crawl. This is a problem. Never even mind all the bugs that are likely not getting fixed for today's version. There's no way they went on the weekend home and enjoyed their Easter weekend and came back and fixed 100 to 1,000 bugs before they pumped today's release out. That's not happening. There's going to be a .1 patch when they realize how much stuff is broken. Even if all these cons are something you want to deal with to get, the couple new blocks, there's finally our second round of villagers, or iron golems. Even if you're willing to deal with this to get the new trades and all the new blocks, I would advise waiting until at least a .1, maybe a .2 patch, because your existing infrastructure might crash the game. And no, all your old villagers are not going to keep their trades. They're all going to reset to whatever the game basically randomly feels like. Some of them might keep their professions, some of them might change to nitwits, so your existing trading halls, you're going to have to kill everyone off, I'm afraid, and start from scratch. And yeah, your food farms are going to be broken. It may not be worth updating, guys. You might just seriously want to wait for a .1, .2 patch. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but that's how it is. That's the state of the game. I personally believe we should call this Minecraft 2.0, because Minecraft has changed forever. All the core mechanics have changed. That's just the way it is, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about this. The new building blocks are cool. I guess the foxes and the polar bears are cool. The bamboo's definitely cool. That's about it, if you ask me. That's about it. I think the new villager mechanics, the trading is cool, but it wasn't implemented well, so I don't see that being a positive overall. The iron golems, the iron spawning mechanics, and the changes to the villages, like the new village generation is cool, but the actual core mechanics, I don't think any of that should have been changed. I think that was to the detriment of the game, not to the positive. Unfortunately, this is it. This is Minecraft moving forward. It's no longer the game we knew and loved. Those core mechanics that have been with us since, beta 1.9 are now permanently changed forever. So let me know what you think in the comments, whether you're happy with the new changes and you're happy moving forward, or if you think it's a shame that we lost some of the original mechanics, and whether or not you want to update, guys. Anyways, this video's been more than long enough in the tooth. I will do another update when the full release comes out, probably a while after I do some more thorough testing. So, as always, guys, smash that like if you enjoyed the video to help others like yourself who might enjoy the content on the channel. And if you're new and you haven't already, hit that sub button for more videos, people. Seriously, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Thanks for watching. Bye.